Why did you kill Aliona Ivanova and Lizaveta?
I had to kill Aliona the pawnbroker because my sister was going to marry Luzin, whom she did not love. She was going to marry him for his money, and I was in debt to that miserable old pawnbroker, so I thought I could help my family by getting out of her debt. Of course, the easiest way to do that was to kill her. Lizaveta was an accident. I overslept on the morning of the murder. So since I was late, Aliona's murder overlapped with her arrival, and I had no choice but to kill her.
What made you think you were part of a group of supermen like Napoleon?
I'm smarter than everybody else in Russia, so naturally, I felt like I was above the rest of society. I published an essay about my Superman theory, and it said that certain great men could step over commonly accepted moral boundaries if they felt it was necessary. In my case, I thought I could kill Aliona and then Elizabeth because it would be for the common good. I thought by killing the pawnbroker, I was ridding St. Petersburg of a horrible old woman and making life better for everyone else. By killing the pawnbroker, I thought I would become a Superman like Napoleon, but it turned out that I couldn't achieve that goal.
What did you feel when you threw yourself on Sonia's feet and wept?
Sonia is the only person I've ever truly loved. She's the only person I have a real relationship with. Even with my friends, I never opened up or felt close enough. I wasn't really a part of society until I started my relationship with Sonia. I was crying because I felt bad about the crimes I committed, the murders, and I was also happy to be starting a new life. With Sonia, I feel like my life has meaning, which I never did before.
What was it like when you realized you weren't one of the supermen and you were like everybody else?
It was really difficult after the murders because I thought I was going to become a Superman like Napoleon. But then what I found out was that I felt a lot of guilt about my crimes. I was paranoid, and I thought everybody suspected me of the murders. My idea about being able to not feel guilty about the murders was a complete failure. My relationship with Sonia helped me because I was able to make a connection with another person. I felt like I had become a part of society, and I would finally be able to stop being haunted by the murders.
Does it bother you when people think you're cheating and accepting food through your cage?
Either the spectators think I'm cheating or they just don't care about what I'm doing. They don't understand me and my profession. It makes me feel alienated from the rest of society because nobody pays attention to me. When they accuse me of cheating, it is the stupidest lie ever invented. I'm not cheating. They are, because the public is cheating me of my reward, which is an appreciation of my suffering.
Why do you fast to make a living?
If I had found the food I liked, believe me, I should have made no fuss and stuffed myself like you or anyone else. I don't need to eat. All I need is the public's admiration of my work.
What was it like when people stopped watching you?
People who watch me and really try and understand what I do or get entertainment out of it give me energy. When there is no one there, I really don't feel like I have a ton to live for, and my body begins to feel much weaker. Also, when no one is watching me, I begin to remember that because no one is watching me, people think that I cheat by sneaking food. It angers me terribly that they think I would be a fraud. This is my life, and if I cheated it wouldn't be letting them down, but it would be letting myself down as well.
What is the relationship with the people who watch you?
When people watch me, we feed off each other. I get energy from their interest, and they become more and more interested in me. This causes a good relationship where I have supporters, or at least when I had supporters. Right now, I have no relationship with my viewers because people have lost interest. I feel as though those had been loyal in the past have completely betrayed me.
How do you feel when you are forced to eat after 40 days?
The thought of food after 40 days is horribly nauseating. When you don't eat for that long, your body begins to cope with it and doesn't know how to react to food. Also, after the 40 days, I have no energy to physically feed myself, so the ladies of whatever town I'm in try and force to feed me. I hate it. If I had gotten this far and starved for 40 days, then why can't they just let me keep on going? They say the reason is that people lose interest after 40 days, so I become no use anymore. In my opinion, they would have no goddamn idea because they've never tried fasting like I have before.
This quotation shows that Raskolnikov feels isolated from society after the murder. He was separated before the murders because he felt like he was smarter and better than everyone else. But now that he completed the murders, he is even more isolated. The reason that he tries to convince himself that he is the Superman is because he wants to feel less guilty about it. He tried to convince himself that he doesn't really need to follow the morals of society because he thought he was acting to improve society by ridding it of an unpleasant person. Also, the reason he was able to commit the crime in the first place was because he didn't feel like he was killing a peer. He felt no connection to her because he felt like he was on a higher level.
This quote shows that after the murder, he feels extremely guilty. Because he thought of himself as the Superman, he thought that he could deal with the guilt of committing a murder, but it turns out that he feels very guilty and maybe isn't as strong as he thought he was. To help assuage his guilt, he tries to convince himself that he killed an evil of society rather than a real person. He needs to assure himself that he did it for intellectual reasons and that he isn't just a flat-out murderer. Essentially, he thought by killing her, he would lead a better life, and since he isn't, he realizes that the murder was unjustified.
This quote shows Hamlet's personal struggle over whether to commit suicide or not. He doesn't know if it's better to suffer in an unhappy life or to end his life. Hamlet is trying to decide whether he should take his own life, kill Claudius, or have him killed. In the end, he decides not to kill himself because he doesn't know what the afterlife is like. He decides that he would rather be unhappy in real life than risk being even more upset or uncomfortable after he ends his life. Before this, he turned to religion, but he couldn't find an answer. Now he is trying to reason with his own personal thoughts, and he still can't decide.
This quote shows the complete misunderstanding in the hunger artist's life. The casual spectator's inborn malice refers to the spectator's heartless dismissal of the hunger artist's suffering, as well as their inability to identify with anything outside their familiar view of the world. All the people think the hunger artist is either cheating or they're uninterested. It makes him feel alienated from society because they don't value his skill. The only thing that he wants is for the crowd to recognize his skill and struggle.
This quote is Marlowe reflecting on the fact that when he was sick and almost dying, he didn't have anything to say. He didn't know how to express his complicated feelings. He goes on to admire Kurtz for the way he was able to express himself before he died. He respects the fact that before he died, Kurtz could take something ambiguous and make a concrete thought about it. Marlowe is completely fascinated by his last words and continues to ponder and figure out what they meant for some time after.